Hello everyone, myself Rittik Sarkar, and today is our first session, which is about the history of entomology in Indian perspective and also about the world perspective. Okay, so today is our first class, so let's start the session. Before beginning, I will describe about myself. I am Rittik Sarkar and I am from West Bengal, and I have completed my undergraduation from Dr. Rajendra Prasad Central Agricultural University, Samastipur, Bihar. Currently, I am doing my master's in entomology at ICAR Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi. And I have secured All India rank 2 in this year's ICAR PG JRF examination in the Department of Entomology and Nematology. And I have also selected in Banaras Hindu University, that is BHU, so the CUET PG examination in this year in the Department of Entomology. And also I have scored 297 marks in that exam. I have also cleared the IFCO AGT prelims examination 2022. So let's start our session. Before beginning, I would like to say about our entomology master's course program. This program is continued by me, Suman Burman, who is the first ranker of ICR JRF examination 2023, and Mr. Bimal Kumar Sahu sir. He is a PhD scholar in TNAU, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore, and he is also the gold medalist in IRI Delhi in MSc Entomology. We three will guide you for the JRF upcoming JRF 2024 examination for entomology and nematology. And today is the first class of our master's course. So let's begin with the history portion. So the first part, the first which comes in our mind about the name of our subject, that is entomology, our main subject. So what is the origin of this word entomology? The word entomology is mainly originated from two Greek words that are entomon, that means insects, and logia, that means knowledge. So entomology is the field or the discipline in which we can gain knowledge about the insects. Okay. And next, the arthropoda. It is also an important word and it is derived from two Greek words like arthro, which means jointed, and poda, that means foot. Means arthropods are those animals who have jointed paired foots. Okay, they have three pairs of jointed legs or jointed foots. So they are called as arthropods. And arthropoda is a phylum, and in that phylum, the insecta is a class. The entomology and the insecta, the parts of arthropoda, belongs to that phylum. Next, insects, our main matter of subject. The word insect is derived from a Latin word. Okay, you need to remember this. Entomology and arthropoda, these are two Greek words, but the word insects derived from a Latin word. Okay, and the meaning of that word insectum, which is the Latin word, means animal with a notched or divided body. And you all know about the body of insect, which is divided into three parts, that is head, thorax, and abdomen. Okay, these are the three parts in the body of an insect, and head is mainly composed of 6 segments, thorax is 3 segmented, and the abdomen mainly 11 segmented, but in columbola, means in springtails, there are 6 segmented abdomens in columbola. Okay, this question sometimes come in the examination, so you need to remember this. The columbola has 6 segmented abdomen, but mainly the other insects, all the insects mainly have 11 segments in their abdomen. Now, 3 important facts. That is, the father of British or modern entomology or the modern applied entomology is William Kirby. He is a British and he is the father of modern entomology and also the father of British entomology. And who is the father of Indian entomology? Mr. Hem Singh Pruthi, H.S. Pruthi, is the father of Indian entomology, and he was also the founder of Entomological Society of India and also their journal. Okay, the Journal of Indian Entomology. He is the founder of both. In 1938, the Entomological Society of India established. And who is the father of forensic entomology? Megnin. Megnin is also known as the father of forensic entomology. Okay, this question is important. It can be asked in the examination. So next, different important years and acts. This part is some sort of difficult to remember, so you need to read this portion more than thrice or four times, because if you don't revise this portion, it will be easily forgettable. So try to revise it as many times as possible. First question, that is, when the human being was originated. Human being was originated about a million years ago, means 10 lakhs years ago, and they were the primitive primates and the primitives like apes or Homo erectus, that kind of human beings. And the insects were originated about 350 to 500 million ago. They are so many, too much older than us human beings. Insects are about 350 to 500 million years ago. They were originated in the world, and the insects comprised of 72% of all the living animals. Means if there is 100 animals in the world, let it be 100 animals in the world, then 72 of them are insects. That's a huge number. And among insects, the coleopterans are the most find species, find order, and these coleopteran insects almost comprised 80 to 90% of all the insects. The total number of insect species till now, it's approximately 9 to 15 lakhs that we discovered, but scientists believe that there are almost 50 to 60 lakh species of insects in the world, and they are yet to be discovered. Okay. In India, in the year mainly in 1900 to 1950, when the British rules India, the entomology started in India. The Plant Quarantine Act, it is an important act. It was enacted in 1912. This Quarantine Act mainly enacted to check the introduction of different foreign insects in India. So it was important. And another most patent question. It is a patent question for different competitive examinations like JRF, CUET, PG, etc. That is DIPA. That is Destructive Insects and Pests Act. That was enforced in 1914. Another important question, the Central Insecticide Act. It was enacted in 1968 in the Parliament, but it was came into force in 1971 on January 1st. And same the insecticide rules, that was also came in January 1971. Another one, the National Food Safety and Standards Act, that is NFSSI, that was enacted in 2006. Prevention of Food Adulteration Act was enacted in 1954, and the Domestic Quarantine Act was enacted in 1971. The Madras Agricultural Pest and Disease Act, that was enacted in Madras Presidency under T.V. Fletcher in 1990. And the Food Quality Protection Act, that is FQPA, was enacted in 1996. Another one, Federal Environment Pesticide Control Act, that is FEPCA, it was enacted in 1972. It is important for this year's JRF purpose. It can be asked. And the Pesticide Management Bill, it was introduced in 2008. These are mainly facts and years, and you have to read it to remember, because there is no trick to remember this. Only revision can help you to grasp these topics, this type of years or this type of acts. That's blah blah. Next is NBAIR, that is National Bureau of Agricultural Insect Resources. That is NBAIR. First in India in 1977, the All India Coordinated Research Project on Biological Control of Crop Pests and Weeds was established in 1977, and it was renamed in 1993. This same thing was renamed in 1993 as PDBC, that is Project Directorate of Biological Control, and it was again renamed in 2007 in the 11th 5-year plan to NBAII, that is National Bureau of Agriculturally Important Insects, and again in 12th 5-year plans, means in 2012 it was again and finally renamed as NBAIR, that is National Bureau of Agricultural Insect Resources, in 2012. And its headquarters is situated in Bangalore, that is in Karnataka. This NBAIR is situated in Bangalore. Okay, it is important. It is asked in different examinations. And different ancient books of entomology. Firstly, the most important book, that is the Systema Naturae. Its first edition was published in 1735 and it was written by Carl Linnaeus. And the 10th edition was coming after 23 years, that is in 1958, the 10th edition of Systema Naturae. The 10th edition of Systema Naturae, there were a description of 28 Indian insect species, and it was described by Mr. Carl Linnaeus in the year 1758. And that's how the modern era of Indian entomology started. And then another important book, that is an account of black insects, that was written by Dr. Kerr in 1782. And the monograph of cochineal insects, it was written by Dr. J. Anderson in 1791, and it is important this year. A catalogue of the Lepidopteran insects in the Museum of East India Company. This book was written by Dr. Horsfield. And another book on the cultivation of black insects and sericulture in India. It was written by Buchanan. He is also a British entomologist, and this book was written in 1800. There are so many books, and you have to remember the name of the author and their year. Not all are important, but these 4, 5, these 2 are most important: Account of Black Insect and Monograph of Cochineal Insects. Those are scale insects and found mainly in the southern Indian portion. That was written by Anderson in 1791, and the Black Insect book is 1782. Okay. There are some photographic and pictorial documentation of some eminent entomologists who have critical role to bring forward the entomology of India. Firstly, Maxwell Lefroy, and he was the second government entomologist of Imperial Agricultural Research Institute, that was IARI. The previous name of IARI, because that was the time when British ruled us. So that was Imperial Institute, Agricultural Research Institute, and HMS Lefroy was its second president. And next, Lionel Denisville, who was the first entomologist in the IARI, that is Imperial Agricultural Research Institute, and the government of India too. Now, J.C. Fabricius, he is an important Danish entomologist, and he was the student of Carl Linnaeus, and he described 28 species of Indian insects on the basis of their mouth parts. Okay, remember. Mouth parts. He described Indian insects. T.B. Fletcher, the first president of Department of Entomology of the Madras Presidency. Mr. Hem Singh Pruthi, the father of Indian entomology. Afzal Hussain, he was the first president of the Entomological Society of India, that was established in 1938. He, along with Ramakrishna Iyer, and its main founder was Mr. Hem Singh Pruthi. Ramakrishna Iyer is a prominent South Indian entomologist, and he has a typical role to characterize, to identify various South Indian insects. Mr. T.N. Anantakrishnan, he has an important role in different thrips insects, identification of different thrips, like means the Thysanoptera, and he is also a prominent entomologist from the southern Indian portion, mainly from Tamil Nadu. Mr. M.S. Mani is the author of that famous entomology book that is known as General Entomology. General Entomology. It was written by Mr. M.S. Mani. And finally, Dr. S. Pradhan. Later, we will discuss about Dr. Pradhan's contribution in Indian entomology in the latter part of our class. Okay, next. Next, different eminent contributors in the field of entomology. So, from the ancient India, the first detailed classification of Indian insects was done by Umaswati in 0 to 100 AD. He first classified insects with details, and the first classification of bees were done by Charaka, and the first classifications of ants, flies, and mosquitoes were done by Susruta. You can remember this by this fact, like B comes before C, so bees was discovered by Charaka. I just remembered by this rule because sometimes it's confusing who classified ants, flies, and who classifies bees, and Charaka, Susruta, there are confusion between them. Okay. First entomologist who worked extensively on Indian insects was J.C. Fabricius. He classified insects into 28 orders based on their mouth parts. Okay, I just previously told this. And J.C. Fabricius was from Denmark, and he was the student of Carl Linnaeus. And J.G. Koenig, an prominent entomologist, he first collected different insects from the Coromandel coastal area and from southern peninsular India. And the famous and notorious red cotton bug, that was Dysarchus koenigi, scientific name, was discovered by him, and the species name, that is koenigi, was named after him because of his contribution. An epitome of the natural history of insects of India and the islands in the Indian Sea, it was the first pictorial documentation of insects in India. This book was written by Edward Donovan, and this was revised by Westwood. And the commencement of fauna of British India. Fauna of British India means mainly the rich animal in which are found in India. This was first done by W.T. Blandford. He was also from England in 1883. This year is important. You need to remember this year, the commencement of fauna of British India in 1883 by W.T. Blandford. The entomological part of this particular fauna of British India was given by George Hampson, and he has contributed by writing down the first 4 volumes on the moths of India. You know about the moths; they belongs to the order Lepidoptera, and they are like the butterflies. And the earliest record, and another one, after the moths, it was followed by another hymenopteran insect like ants, honeybees, wasps. It's an important hymenopteran insects, and this section was covered by Mr. Bingham. And the earliest record of biological pest control in India was the red ants. That was the particular red ants, which when cuts, there will be swelling in our body, and it's very irritating. They mainly feeds on the notorious white ants or the termites. The red ants mainly uh, check the termites, which are the pests of stationary items like books and another clothing things, etc. And the red ants mainly feed on the termites, and they can control them. And this was first shown by Rothny, and it was the first evidence of biological control in India. It's important for both history and biological control, both chapters. Okay, it is important. It should be remembered by all. So the first entomologist to the government of India was Lionel de Nisbelli, and he was appointed in 1901. And the second entomologist was Maxwell Lefra, but the year is sometimes get bit of confusion. In many modern books, the year is given as 1903. So if there is option of both 1902 and 1903, you can go for 1903. And if there are options only when sometimes it can be given 1902 or 1903, then go for both of them. But if both are present, then 1903 is more accurate. The first government entomologist to Madras state was T.V. Fletcher, and he was appointed in 1914. And the second government entomologist to Madras state was M. Singh Pruthi, and he was appointed in 1934. The first entomologist of the Imperial Agricultural Research Institute, that is IARI, was Maxwell Lefra, and he was the first imperial entomologist. And the first imperial forest entomologist was E.P. Stebbing. It is important question for this year's JRF. Important, and it is also asked in previous year. First forest geologist in the Forest Research Institute, that is situated in Dehradun, is E.P. Stebbing in 1916. And the first vice president of Entomological Society of India was Afzal Hussain. He is the first president of the ESI, that is Entomological Society of India, and I told it before. And the first vice president was Mr. H.S. Pruthi. And the founder of Entomological Society is also Mr. H.S. Pruthi, the father of modern entomology, father in Indian entomology. The authority of Thysanoptera means the thrips, which are the pests of onion, garlic, and other bulbous crop, was T.N. Ananthakrishnan. And the first important, most important question, it is most important. The first plant protection advisor to government of India was M. Singh Pruthi. It is important, it can be asked. Okay. Some ancient books of entomology like Indian Insect Pest, it was written by Lefroy in 1906. Indian Insects Life, it was also written by Lefroy in 1909. And the textbook of agricultural entomology, this book was written by Hem Singh Pruthi, And the Handbook of Economic Entomology for Southern India. This was written by T.V. Ramakrishna Iyer. The Ecology and Control of Forest Insects on India and Neighboring Country. It was written by C.F.C. Besan in 1941. The book Some South Indian Insects. It was written by T.B. Fletcher in 1940. The book Indian Forest Insects of Economic Importance, that is Coleoptera, was written by E.P. Stebbing. He is also known as the father of forest entomology. Okay, you should understand about this. You should remember this, the name of E.P. Stebbing. And another book which I told earlier, that General Entomology, was written by Mr. M.S. Mani. And General and Applied Entomology, it was written by Nayar, Ananta Krishna, and Basant Raj Devi. And the most important book, that is the Element of Economic Entomology, it was written by Basant Raj Devi and V.V. Ramamurthy. This book also will be needed by us when we will go through the chapter beneficial insects, toxicology, and the crop pests. And all those parts were very well described in this book, Elements of Economic Entomology, which is also known as EEE. The monograph of the desert locust in India, it was written by Mr. Y. Ramachandra Rao. The monograph on Indian Thysanoptera was written by T. N. Anantakrishnan. And this is another important, it is not that much important. You can go through the name. S.S. Nair, Tropical Forest Insect Pest Ecology and Impact Management. Now Mr. S. Pradhan. He is mainly from Odisha, and he has a lot of contribution to promote Indian entomology, to get more progress in Indian entomology. Firstly, he has given the idea of pesticide umbrella, and he also has given the hermetic storage for the control of Trogoderma granarium, that is khapra beetle. And it is a storage structure, and we can keep our wheat, paddy, and other grains safe from this khapra beetle for a long time in this hermetic storage. And this pusa bean also is important storage structure to check the infestation of different stored grain pest. He first given the biotic theory and periodicity of locust's life cycle, and he also given the antipedant property of neem, that is azadirachtin indica, and its main active principle is azadirachtin, and it has antipedant property for maximum number of insects, pests, and it was given by him in 1962. This year is important as the name of this property is also important, and he first reported the DDT resistance in Singara beetle, that is Galudaceae birmanica, in 1962, that particular year, and it is also important. The resistance of the Singara beetle towards DDT, dependent property of neem, and biotic and periodicity of locust cycle. These three are important along with hermetic storage of the control of khapra beetle. Next. Different societies and institutes in India, like the Locust Warning Organization, that was established in 1939 in Jodhpur. The Plant Protection Directorate, it was established in 1957. The TPPQ, and that is Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage, that was established in 1946 in Faridabad. The Asiatic Society of Bengal, that was established in 1785 in Kolkata. The Entomological Society of India was established in 1938 under the chairmanship of H.S. Pruthi and the presidency of Afzal Hussain. Official publication of the Entomological Society of India was Indian Journal of Entomology. Okay, it is till date published. Zoological Survey of India, that was previously known as the Natural History Section of the Indian Museum, was established in 1916. The Indian Lac Research Institute was established in 1925 in Namku, and it is situated near Ranchi, Jharkhand. And previously and now presently, its name is changed in 2007 to National Institute of Lac Research, and the National Institute of Natural Calm and Disease. That is the changed name of ILRI in 2007. The Zoological Survey of India, that is ZSI, was established in 1916 in Kolkata. The NPPTI, that is National Plant Protection Training Institute, was established in 1966 in Hyderabad, Telangana. The National Center for Integrated Pest Management, that is NCIPM, was established in 1988 in New Delhi. The NBIR, that is National Bureau of Agriculture and Insect Resources, previously I told about it. It was established in 1993 under the name of PDBC in Bangalore. And the International Commission on Zoological Nomenclature was established in 1895 in Geneva. The Imperial Forest Research Institute was established in Dehradun in 1960, and the Bombay Natural History Society was established in 1883. This year is important. This can be asked. And the Indian Museum that was founded in Kolkata in 1875, and that is the largest museum in India. Next. Thank you very much for attending today's class. If you are facing any doubt, then you can message it in the group, or you can directly message me. And if you have any query, feel free to ask me, and please share about this course, because we are not here for keeping much money from you. Our main aim is to produce more results, and your results will be our reward. So try your best, as the subject entomology is not easy to remember, because there are so many facts, so many scientific names, so many years, so many books names. So you have to give your best 100%. I, as a senior, just can guide you. What will be the right way to, what are the right materials to study, what is the right way to grasp the concepts. But ultimately, you are your best mentor, and you have to study about yourself, make small notes, and daily try to revise those notes, and finally you will get the result if you make small notes from today. And after 3 to 4 months, just you will get the result. Just you have to revise your notes, and when the exam will be knocking at your door, you will not that much worry, because you have completely uh, completed your all the topics by that day. Thank you very much.